So, when did this game release again? Oh, 7 years, huh? So I guess I'm a little bit late. Hmm. Hmm. Eh, I still want to talk about it. Red Dead Redemption 2, the cowboy simulator of the generation. The game that everyone thinks should have won Game of the Year 2018, and I have to admit, I get their point. However, it wasn't always that way. You see, in 2018, the game I was playing was. Yup, God of War 2018 changed my life. The values presented in that game, the morals, have stayed with me until today. And though it had incredible and satisfying gameplay, what mattered to me the most was its story. Now, I was not allowed to play the original trilogy, let alone have a console to play it on, but I do know who Kratos was, the rageful, bald-headed, chain-wielding man that he was. So when I was at the right age to play these violent games, I was more than excited for it. And when I did finish the game, what I realized was that I loved the dramatic character moments, especially the silent ones where the characters gradually evolve and become better.
Tone, boy.
Man, I love this game. Mix this up with some bombastic action, incredibly detailed graphics, and addicting gameplay, and you've got yourself a Game of the Year winner. So, where does Red Dead Redemption 2 come into any of this? Okay, story time. A friend of my dad found out that I was a gamer. And so he told my father that, I got a game here. You want to give this to your son for free? And obviously he doesn't talk that way, but the loving father my dad was, he said yes. He told me about it too. So when he went home one day, he gave the game to me, and my reaction was, oof, yeah, I wasn't too amazed by it. I saw the case and I knew it was one of those matured games, the adult games, a game that is in a genre that I don't normally play or am interested in, much like GTA 5. But it was a free game, and I appreciated it because now I have a new game to play. So I opened it up, saw the two discs, installed the game, and started playing. And I have to be honest, I don't remember much of this game when I first played it. I feel like it was so unmemorable for me at the time that I can't even remember anything. But what stuck with me the most about this game was that at the time, I found it boring. And all throughout the game, I was expecting there to be some amazing, revolutionary action scenes and fast paced combat. And I think that this is because of how much I loved God of War at the time. And that game became the standard of what I thought a good game should be, should feel, should look like. But if you've ever played RDR2, you know that you do get some of that, but it doesn't get as crazy as God of War. But even then, I tried my hardest to appreciate the game every time it did something good. But looking back, it feels like I was just coping the entire time, convincing myself that I liked the game when most of the time I was just trying so hard to find things that I would like about it instead of actually enjoying it. And in return, every time my expectations weren't met, I was disappointed. To add, I didn't even understand the story. I didn't know what it was going for. I didn't care for the characters either. So when the twists and turns happened, it all fell flat for me. You know, I got more depressed in this scene than this one. Imagine that! I cared more about the horse than the main character Arthur Morgan. And yes, 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 I know, I hear you, shame on me. But my old self was wrong in many more ways than one, because now, in 2025, I decided to replay this game, and boy, this game is amazing. Before we continue, I would just like to inform everyone watching that I am still stuck in Chapter 2. Not because I don't know what to do next or the game is so hard that I just got stuck. It's because there's so much to do. Everywhere I go, there's a random event that happens. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about these occurrences because it's what makes this game special. How spontaneous everything feels, how realistic everything feels. But I will share one moment that really gave me goosebumps. I'm talking about this conversation that you can have with Mary Beth. I stumbled upon it when I was busy being fascinated by how characters react to you while you do your chores at camp. So when I was moving hay, I looked at the minimap and I saw this white question mark. So I decided to check it out and I saw Maribeth sitting down reading a book. And then she says,
Why don't you sit, Arthur?
at this point, I was like, what? I couldn't believe that you can have these conversations with these people because the first time around, I never got to experience any of it. So yeah, I accepted it. And remember when I told you that I didn't care about Arthur and I cared more about the horse? This was because to me, he was, again, boring, the same with the rest of the game at the time. But when he started talking right here, sharing his feelings and thoughts, and seeing those facial animations, hearing that melancholy in his voice acting.
No more outlaws. No more killers. Now it's us being hunted. Oh, they ain't stopping.
Bro, it gave me chills. And like I said, I like the silent moments in God of War 2018. So having this moment in RDR2, a completely optional moment that fleshes out his character even more, I realized how utterly wrong I actually was about this game. Everything about this conversation felt so authentic, so genuine. And it's not even in this moment only, it's in the little moments too. The simple feature of greeting people and seeing your cowboy mates react to you, hear them say, or
Arthur,
in the
dumbass.
most human way they can while you casually walk around the camp, just triggers something in my monkey brain and monkey heart to just feel a sense of awe. I don't know how else to explain it, but if you've played the game, I assume that you know what I mean. So, going back to this moment, as I was listening to him, it really seemed like he meant what he was saying. How he was scared of the future. How people like them are slowly being rejected by the world. And putting myself in their shoes, I could feel how being in that situation is incredibly difficult and just plain sad. And all of that was felt with no need for cutscenes, no need for music, just great voice acting and amazing writing. But then they had to put this in.
Keep killing animals needlessly.
And I kind of just found it funny because it's the game literally giving an explanation as to why I've been killing animals for the challenges in the game. Which actually brings me to my next point, the challenges. Back then, when I looked at this menu, I viewed it as a list of the most tedious and boring tasks you can do in Red Dead Redemption 2. They were more like filler activities that you can do to pad out the game. So, I never did any of them the first time around. But now, my intention for playing the game was to appreciate every aspect of it. So with that, I tried to do the challenges, and boy, those challenges, they're actually shit. Okay, calm down. It's not the most revolutionary thing in gaming history, but I do not know how Rockstar made these tasks actually fun. In any other game, this would be, as I've said, tedious. But here, nah. I enjoy learning about the animals that I'm going to be hunting, looking around while I ride my horse and studying various species of wildlife, checking the compendium when I need to hunt for some specific animal for its hide, then learning about where they reside, the types of weapon that are most effective to get the best result. And after all this, I go and actually hunt. I get down from my horse, take my newfound knowledge with me, and start tracking. I enjoy the slow walk that Arthur does while crouching, the bow at the ready. So when the moment comes that the animal is in sight, I shoot. However, there will be times that the animal is moving around a lot, but when you get that clean shot, it feels bad. I said it feels bad, not because it's not fun, but because my heart cannot take these dying animal noises. Because in this game, there's a possibility that you hit the animal, but they just fall down. Once you go near them to check, you will hear them struggle to breathe. You will hear them and you will hear their pain. And when you decide to finally deal the killing blow, look, I don't know if it's just me and I just got too immersed into this game, but doing this broke my heart. It even got me to question if hunting was for me. Maybe I should just stop. These animals are innocent. They're not really doing anything to me. They're not hurting me, they're not killing me, they're not biting me. Right? They're just surviving. But I still kept hunting because I wanted to unlock the trapper's holster and stuff. Come on, it looks cool. Another highlight of this game is its side quests. I haven't done much of them, but I have done the one with the gunslingers. Obviously, no spoilers, but the gist of the quest is that you need to find famous gunslingers and interview them for a guy writing a book. Sounds like your typical side quest, right? In a way, yes, but seeing Arthur interact with these people is definitely funny, but also endearing. There's a certain charm to it, especially in the voice
I don't
acting.
give you squat. God damn it. These better be some stories.
Side quests normally don't have this much effort put into them, let alone have voice acting that is in the same quality as the main missions of the game. But here, that simply isn't the case. Man, these voice actors, this cast, they can really act. Every time anyone speaks, you just hear quality. Not from the mic, but from the performance itself. Nothing really feels like they're out of place. What I mean by this is that they are like actual people who are living in this time period. And there are these tiny nuances in the performance that makes everything all the more realistic. Going back to these side quests, these are not fodder missions, or at least they don't feel that way because of the amount of care the devs put into them. And yes, the gameplay is basic on the surface level. You just push buttons, animations play, maybe you get to shoot some guys here and there, but its execution, trust me, is great. Which leads me to the next section, gameplay. The gameplay in Red Dead Redemption 2 is hard to describe without it sounding boring. As I've said, you walk, press some buttons, and things happen. But because of this exact feature, the game becomes extremely immersive. With every button press you do, there's a corresponding animation to it. And these animations make you feel like this character is actually doing what you want him to do. To paint a clearer picture here, this is a good example. Alright, so I am essentially imagining myself in this place walking like a normal person. And let's say that I decided to be friendly with the strangers around me. So, if it were real life, I'd be walking, then greet the person that is passing me by while I continue to walk. And you can do exactly that in this game. Just press the aim button and choose to greet them.
Hey, mister.
Simple enough, right? But the way these lines are delivered are just simple enough to feel realistic. Not only that, the walking animation, it makes you feel like you're the coolest man alive, even though it is just walking. You're just walking, but why does it feel so cool? Another good example of this is just sitting down at camp. If you pretend that you are a cowboy coming back from a long and tiring day every time you go back to camp, what you'd want to do is walk slowly, chat with your friends, or maybe just sit down and listen to these people talk. Just quietly sitting there and relaxing, bonding with everyone in the simplest way possible. If it wasn't already clear, my point is that these controls may seem simple and boring at first glance, but once you actually play the game and immerse yourself in the cowboy lifestyle, you will begin to see why this gameplay is so fun. The way Arthur walks, as I've said, the way he takes his gun and puts it at his back, the way he aims, the way he sits, the way he talks to other people, are also incredibly realistic, which again makes the game so immersive. And all of these are extremely subtle, by the way. You barely notice it, but once you do, it makes such a big difference. As I'm writing the script, I realize that there's a lot of things I'm not going to be able to talk about when it comes to fully expressing how amazing this game really is. Especially when I'm only in chapter 2 as of now. But even so, the amount of fascinating moments I've experienced with the game is already enough to make me see why this game is so special. It is definitely one of a kind. Now, I'm not going to talk about the graphics. I'm not going to fawn about that in this video. But hey, if you want that, then I guess you can comment down below or just hit the like button. But if you want my opinion on it, the short version is, it is extremely good. Much like everything else in this game. The details, the tiny details, chef's kiss. But for me, again, the same with God of War, what matters is the story and characters. But not just that this time around, it's also the world itself. This is the last part of the video, and if you made it this far, I just want to give a massive thanks for giving this new guy, me, a chance. Even if right now, there's probably only a few of you who watched the entire thing so far, I still want to give my heartfelt appreciation. And I hope you enjoyed the content as well, given that I'm new to this space and all that. So thank you. It means a lot to me. So with that said, let's end this video with the story of Red Dead Redemption 2. As I've mentioned earlier, I never understood what this story was really about. And so, before I began to replay the game, I searched up videos about is RDR2 still worth it in 2025? And I don't remember which video it was, because I watched a couple of them, but the YouTuber, he gave me the perfect summarization of this game's story that intrigued me enough to push me to play the game again. He said something along the lines of, it is a game about Arthur Morgan and the Vanderlyn gang and how they faced the challenges of the ever-changing world, or something like that. And that's when it hit. Oh, I have been looking at this game all wrong. So that's what this game is about. And to add to this, I also saw a Reddit post about the same concept of RDR2 being worth it today. And the person who posted that said that he didn't like the game at first, but when he replayed it the second time around without any expectations whatsoever, he ended up loving it. And that's it. Once I shifted my perspective about this game's story and stopped trying to expect that it would have the craziest action scenes ever, the craziest spectacle ever, and start to understand what the story is trying to tell, man, oh man, I saw how phenomenal this story is. And yes, I am aware that I'm still only in chapter 2. But so far, while I'm playing the game, I really felt that dread. I kept feeling that dread, that looming end these characters were facing. Especially when I remembered that this is based on history, or at least the whole transition from the cowboys and outlaws to civilized society thing actually happened. I feel how they are people struggling for money, struggling to survive while the world gradually rejects them. But even then, you see that all of them are trying their best to keep the gang alive, especially Dutch. And because I felt this way, I couldn't help but empathize with these fictional characters. So whenever I can, I donate money to the camp, improve its provisions and overall equipment there, because it's the best any one of us can do to contribute and help everyone out. And this isn't even something that the game requires you to do as far as I know. But because the game's writing is so powerful in its opening hours, it was able to make me do these tasks without ever feeling like I'm being forced to do them. Which is insane wizardry from the devs. Rockstar, what? Okay, let me clear things up. When I say story, I don't just mean the main missions in the game, but I also include these subtle character moments that you can completely miss if you don't visit the camp enough. And it's precisely because it's missable that it makes it all the more special when you're there to witness it happen. It makes everything feel more alive, because it makes it seem like these characters just go on about their day regardless of whether you're around or not. These moments make you care about the gang so much more. You see their motivations, how they've lived their life so far, their emotions. And because of these, I am more inclined to just keep interacting with them because I have built this connection with them. And I know it sounds weird because these people are not real. They're not even people. They're just polygons, numbers on screen, or whatever. But if you just let yourself sink into the world and into the story of Red Dead Redemption 2, I assure you, you will feel the same way as me. You will care for these characters and you will want to help every single one of them survive. But there you go. That is Red Dead Redemption 2. I most probably did not do this game justice, and there is still so much stuff I have not talked about yet. If there are things in this game that you want me to tackle or explore and make a video about, you can go ahead and suggest that in the comments section below. I will probably make another video about this game once I finish it, but it will most likely be more focused on the story and some of the characters. It depends if I can pull something like that off. Again, to everyone who stuck around until the end, thank you. And if you stuck around this long, you might as well, hey, you might as well live a life. Hey, it wouldn't hurt you nor your pet cat or dog. So that's it for me. More videos to come hopefully, and I hope you like this one. Goodbye.